Hello, Reef DVM's coming at you with the technique of baking eggs to make them hard, kind of like hard boiling eggs. We're planning tonight to take some vinegar and some Easter egg kits and do some eggs with the kids. So, we've heard about this on the TV and in the news and on the online about taking these eggs and, basically you put them here in muffin tins or on cookie sheets or even directly on the oven racks, and you put them in the oven and you bake them at 325 degrees for 30 minutes. And supposedly they don't they don't crack as much, and it allows you to do a large volume, and it's very easy. So we kind of wanted to see if that was the case. I mean, everybody online talks about how, oh yeah, you get a few spots when you take them out of the oven and you just quick wash them off and then it works great. So we thought, well, let's take 5 dozen eggs and let's try baking them to make them hard cooked and see how it goes, and we'll see what we think of it. So the first thing is we got some eggs. We put them in these very clean, brand new muffin tins. Got the oven up to 325 degrees, which we're gonna bake these eggs. There's no water or anything. They're just in the tins. They're just sitting in there, but we're gonna bake them for 30 minutes. And then we're going to take them over to a cold water bath, cool them down, and then they'll be ready for dyes tonight. So again, there's no water in these trays. Just the eggs are just sitting in there. We're just using the trays as a method of holding them. You could put them on your oven racks. Some people said you get marks from the oven racks on the eggs. Well, we didn't really care one way or another, but we thought we'd give this a try. So again, we're going to put these eggs in here and see what happens. I can tell you that personally I was a little skeptical about this, but again, after seeing it on the news and on the online and everybody saying how great it was, well, gotta give it a try. So we'll set the timer here. Put about 30 minutes on there at 325 degrees. And we'll come back to it here in a few minutes. Let's go get some ice water and water ready here for these eggs. I like to have nice cold water because it really firms up that hard egg, and I like that. I don't want the eggs real cold when we go to dye them, because I think the vinegar solution works better with the dyes when the eggs are on the room temperature side. But I definitely want to cool them down and get that egg to solidify inside, is basically what I think of it. So I'm going to dump, I don't know, half a pitcher here of ice in the sink. I'm going to fill it up maybe a couple inches deep. And we'll take a little break here, and we'll come back and get the eggs out of the oven. It's been 30 minutes now, and boy, they are spotted. The moisture from inside the egg seems to come through the pores, and then it bakes onto the outside surface of the egg in kind of a brown color. They say that this should wash off. We will see, but here they are. They're fresh out of the oven. Again, these are just store-bought eggs that were just put in the oven for 30 minutes at 325 degrees. Nothing done to them. We're going to stick them in the cold water here. And then we're going to try and wash off the little black or brown spots here that develop from the baking process. Some people say these eggs are easier to peel too because they're baked. And I can tell you that right off the bat, some of the spots come off. But there's definitely some very obvious spotting, which is a little disappointing, and certainly some staining, some yellowing to the egg. It doesn't stay quite as white in the oven like I would like it to. There's kind of a stain spot to that one, which is somewhat disappointing. So I'll have to kind of see how this turns out. Right off the bat, they're not cleaning up real great, but we'll grab our egg trays here, and we'll get them dried out after we've cleaned them up and get them onto the egg trays. Oh, there's one back here that's cracked. So on the first tray already, there's a cracked one. So apparently they do crack if you bake them in the oven too. I will check some of the ones in the oven before putting them in the water. Maybe it cracked when we put it in the water, but we'll take a look at that here in a second too. Well, that's disappointing. We'll see how many of the 5 dozen cracked. They said this was a way to stop cracking. Anyways, we'll keep cleaning these up here, and I'll keep putting them in the tray, and from there we'll see how many of them are cracked or stained that we can't get cleaned, and we'll go from there. I wonder if I try a little vinegar on these, if the stains will come out with a little vinegar. Here we are all done. Cracked 7 eggs out of 5 dozen. And there are permanent blemishes on the eggs from cooking them in the oven. Very disappointing. Not really as nice. I mean, if I'm going to crack 7 eggs, I could have put them in water, cold water, and put them on the stove and heated it up to a boil and then shut it down to a simmer for 12 minutes, and it would have been twice as fast time-wise and energy-wise, and I probably would have had the same amount of cracked eggs or less. Quite disappointed. Some of the eggs are pretty stained. Wow, look at this. We cracked a few. They didn't shell any different than any other eggs, and there's brown spots on the eggs. Interesting. But the same spots on the outside also transferred to the inside. So basically, our trial here, folks, has come to an end. I can honestly say I don't recommend baking eggs. It's not as great of a thing as they say on the internet because the spots, I just don't like that. Thank you, folks, for watching.